tell me it's late. Don't tell me it's late. It ain't that late. It ain't that late. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I know what I like to do. Throw a little music in here. Find me some music. Got to be careful nowadays. They be hitting you hard. Hmm. Come on now. Oh yeah. The smooth sounds of the Notary Public. Right here on WGRF. That's right. We just sitting back chilling and enjoying ourselves after a long week of signing and stamping. Oh yeah. This weekend we get some rest and get right back at it again. But then there are some of us that'll be working through the weekend too, because we love signing and stamping so much. We just can't get enough. Yeah. All right now, y'all. Yeah, being a notary public is one of the best things in the world. Out here helping people, making money, in some cases, just outright saving the world. What's going on, party people? I'm just up here cutting the fool. What's up, my man? As long as you don't play that. Oh, I don't know what she like. Oh, that. Yeah, she got some little weird song. Nah, I ain't messing with that. Well, had a chance to use. I have not. So you know what? Maybe we'll do that tonight. We'll hit. I got my glove on. I was going back through checking my documents and scanning them so I can take this off. Now that's why it took me so long. I had to do that. Let me turn this music off. Ow. Yeah, so I had to do my scans and everything. 206 pages. Whew. So now I actually gotta I need to upload that. That's what I almost forgot. I was so hyped up on getting on here with y'all. So where is my documents? But no, I have not done the Chat GTP 5 yet. But you know what? We might as well give that bad boy a shot tonight. So we are. Mm-mm-mm. So let's see here where drag and drop this. And then I gotta upload the IDs. All right. You go back to work on Monday. I go back to work tomorrow. I'm enjoying this. I know a lot of y'all be like, man, you need to slow down, Grill. Y'all just don't realize how much I just sort of really didn't do a lot when I could have been doing stuff because I was just chilling and everybody like, oh man, don't. But now it's a little bit of because I have to, but it's also because I enjoy it. I'm at a reverse mortgage and oh my goodness, reader alert, alert. Oh my goodness. Yeah. If anybody ever gets a reader on a reverse mortgage, that is the hardest one. I can deal with it on anything else, but on a reverse mortgage, those are difficult. And they shouldn't be reading because they give them counseling and they know all of that stuff ahead of time, but some of them still want to read. All right. So the docs are up there. I just need to put the IDs up there now. Yeah, 7 today, 7 closings. But I had to catch up with you, Caprinis. Caprinis was doing 15 yesterday, so I had to try to catch up with him. But yeah, Caprinis had I think 7 yesterday, 7 or 8. But he did, I know he did an awesome job and everything, and got that bad boy done. So that is cool. That is real cool. All right. So what else we got here? I'm coming to you, Tammy. I see your question. Sir, I just got my commissioner exam, just started watching you. There's a lot to cover, but I'm confused. All right. So in the description, you can hit me up and book a one-on-one session with me. It's only $10, 30 minutes, sometimes longer, for $10. And we will answer any, well, not we, me, will answer any questions that you have. I don't know if anybody who's here actually, that's here signed up and did a one-on-one session with me. If you did, put a one in the chat. But if you go to the link, you'll see the reviews. I sit there and I help people out, and I will sit there and answer all of your questions to help you get a clear understanding of how to proceed in this. And you're right, it's a lot out here, but I take it and I down to what you actually need. And plus, you're here in Virginia, so most definitely I got your back. I most definitely got you. So let's see here. Where are those? Oh, I need to. This is what I need to do. I got to go over here, scans, download these wonderful IDs. So yeah, today was 7. Um, it wasn't too bad. The hard part was that some of the environments I went into, nobody had. It was like nobody had what's going on, Mark, tables. So I'm sitting at couches, and that was uncomfortable. Low light situation, so I had to go back and buy me, and I lost my little portable lights. Um, So I need to get me some more portable lights because a lot of people now, for some reason, they don't have any bright lights. Like this here, this is my strobe light and my regular house light, and I just can't stand sitting in the dark. And I guess because from when I was in the military, I was always when we was out to sea, it was always dark. You always kept the places dark so people can sleep because we was running 24/7. So very rarely did we have lights on board the ship, even during the daytime. So I don't like having a dark place. I got night lights all through my house. There's hardly any place you can go in my house where there's no light outside of the bedroom. And even in the bedroom, I got a motion light. So when I'm walking, I can see where the heck I'm going. I'm serious. I got motion lights all up and down my steps. Um, so if I'm upstairs and somebody try to break in, I'm gonna know because I'm gonna see them lights popping on and stuff. And I got night lights all over the place. I don't like walking around in dark um places. So I got a light somewhere everywhere. Bathrooms, you name it, there's a light. So you come in my house at night, I'm gonna see you. You ain't gonna be get in my house and not be seen at all. But I gotta get me a new portable light because they just had the lights look orange. I mean literally the their lighting in their house was like orange, and I could not hardly see the documents. Um, and I didn't realize that people literally just sit in the dark during the daytime. You know, and that's just not something that I was brought up doing. So that made it a little difficult today. But I made it through that, and some of the people home they don't have AC, so that makes it even more difficult. And everything. All right, somebody just signed up for a one-on-one session, and those are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays between 9 and 10:30, 30-minute sessions. So thank you very much. I got you covered, and we will chop it up. So now I just need to upload these IDs. Hold on one second, y'all. Drop these over here on good old Snap to the Docs, and then hit finish and refresh. Make sure. All right, they got all of that stuff, and we are good to go. So documents uploaded. I got 4 closings tomorrow, so later tonight I'm gonna print those out and stuff. But yeah. So today was good. Today was good. Hold on, let me get my Chat GTP up. And I don't know, do I have to upgrade? How do I get the Chat GTP 5? Hold on. Chat GTP 5. All right. So chatbot. Okay, so this is 5. All right. Looking good, looking good. All right. So now somebody had a question here. Where Tammy at? There it is, Tammy. I ain't forget you, Tammy. So out there in Denver, good shot. Skull Buffs. All right. I know Denver, but then they the bus over there in Boulder. I don't use electronic journal. I prefer paper. Um, some of the journals I did try. I did try Jurat and all of that, but and maybe I'm just not. I don't know. Maybe something wrong with me. But if I from what I remember, it looks like you had to tell the like Jurat what the documents were that are on that are in your loan packet. So if you like this closing that I just did tonight, my last one was 206 pages. So that means I would have to sit there and tell and note that okay, here's all the affidavits, here's the title, and upload all of that in there to say that those got notarized. In Virginia, we don't have to track each and every individual document for the notarization. We just say we saw them people, they notarize, they sign, we notarize, and that's it. Unlike California, that's doing every single one individually. So that was a pain to me to have to try to set something up. And the way I looked at it was, and if I'm wrong in how it's set up works, you let me know, y'all. But I was like, if I'm doing 5 or 6 in a day, I don't have time and I'm getting stuff last minute. How is that going to work getting documents last minute? And then I gotta sit there and tell the jurat, tool that I got this closing for John Jones, and here are the documents that he's going to be signing and notarizing when I'm getting the documents late. It was just logistically, I just didn't see how it was going to work for me. Hold on, I just got to close my door. Yeah, I know my voice be carrying. I don't want to, when the wife decides to go to bed, I don't want to keep her up. But I just didn't see have any success with it. What platform do you use to notarize it? Notarize what? What am I notarizing? Platform. When you say platform to notarize, now this wasn't an electronic notarization, if that's what you're talking about. This was a face-to-face, 206 pages. Um, but the platform that I use is Expedite. Expedite Close is the actual name. I still. Oh, that's right. I gotta do something. I'll get with them. I'll get with them later. It's called Expedite Close by Black Knight. I do not know how notaries get onto the platform because I was grandfathered in, so I never learned how to do it. The only thing that I can think of, and let me add this to the stage, is I will put this link in the chat, and probably here you go here to that link and then hit get started, and then maybe this is how you can get on a platform as a notary. I don't know. um I haven't really looked into it, but you can try that. And I've asked them and they never responded back to me about how other notaries can get on. They got this log on. um I actually just don't know how their stuff works. I really, really don't. So maybe I have time and I can figure it out. But I don't know at the moment how to do that. Okay. So then down there in Florida, my man said he had 8. She said she on her phone. My phone is in my lap, is on my laptop and an earplug. Cool. Yep, hate those uncomfortable conditions. Second reverse mortgage this week. Actually, girl, Can you reschedule me to one? Yeah, I can do that. I'll go in there and put it on Wednesday for you. That's not a problem. Uh, Lord, you're right. I choose what I'm notarizing, and that's it. Yeah. So I don't need to. I mean, I guess it's okay, but yeah, yeah, it's about point and click. Gotcha. So, um, one of the things that we have to do, and I know the notary giant can most definitely attest to this, him and Caprentice, as well as Wanda and a few others, is that as notaries, the biggest thing that we have to do is learn how to protect our business. And one of the things that can cause us to get in problems and trouble with our business is improper information. We get information about doing things or what we can and can't do in the business, and it can put us at a disadvantage. It could get us in trouble. There are TMCs out there, trainer, mentor, and coaches. There are those folk out there that that's when I say TMCs, it's trainer, mentor, coaches. They don't want you to really do your own research. They want you to come to them for a price. They will talk negative against AI. They will talk negative about doing your own research. They will say, hey, all the information you need is in my course or a course. And that's not necessarily the case, because if that course was not generated for my state within and taking in consideration my state guidelines and my state laws, then how can that course really help me? So one of the things we have to do is reduce risk, which is called risk mitigation. As a business owner, you have to find a way to protect what you have built, because it's always going to be somebody who will try to come at it. That's why you have insurance. But the biggest way you can protect your business is to make sure that how you execute it is in line with your state guidelines and federal guidelines, if applicable. You have to make sure that what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're promising is not outside of the scope of what you're supposed to be able to do or what you can do. People will tell you you can do all of these things, but the things they're telling you to do may not be applicable. And I'm saying it over and over in different ways because I'm trying to get you to understand that as much as you want help to grow your business, this notary business, you actually have to take responsibility and stop sitting back and waiting for somebody to come save you, waiting for somebody to deliver the quintessential answer. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, got it. And that's going to be the thing. You have to take time out and do your own research. And if you're unwilling to do your own research, that means you're at the beck and call of someone else who's done research, and they can pick and choose what you know and learn and how you do. And they're going to only tell you what you have paid them to tell you. So it's like, okay, I'll tell you, but it's going to cost you. Now you say, well, Griff, you're doing a one-on-one. No, I'm talking about people sitting up here charging you $300 a month to talk, charging you $400, $500 for a course. And when you say, well, I have questions, they don't, oh, that'll be another $200. That's what I'm talking about. The only reason why I even charge is because I've learned that sometimes people don't respect folks' time. And this ain't directed to the lady who signed up. And it's not even directed to any of the other people, but this is stuff that I learned over the years, that sometimes people don't understand how to respect and appreciate free. Because those of you who are just coming to me, finding me, my history is that I've done so much for free. I just give, just dump that data dump. But it came to a time where it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to start charging something, just to make people a little honest, with with their conversations with me, or their time, or them wanting time from, with me and everything. And you will be amazed at how many people have reached out to me, asked me this, hey, I want to talk to you, I want to get with you. And I said, well, okay, look, because I'm doing 7 of these a day sometimes. So I don't have the freedom right now to just hop on the phone like I used to. So I'm like, hey, just book me. And I purposefully make sure that I don't do any closings on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I can be available to whoever needs me to. And I get DMs, all of that. And I say, yeah, here's the link, dot, dot, dot. And they don't sign up. They don't do it because they just don't want to pay. They don't want to pay nothing. They just want somebody to give. And this is why I set the price. But I did it low enough so people can afford it. So back to the topic. I just had to throw that out there. So as a business owner, the number one thing we got to do is protect our business. That's why we have insurances. That's why we sit there and read our handbooks. That's why we make sure we understand the various laws, all of that. So let's just take this for example. So where's my settings? Because I like it. My tools. All right. Okay, so this is up here because I'm first time using it. All right, what I'd like to do is put it in dark mode. I'll figure that out later. All right. So let's ask this question. What are the top 5 risk mitigation? No, I was gonna spell it wrong. Mitigation items a notary public should address? Just asking a simple question. What are the top 5 risk mitigations? All right. Boom. Okay. So it says verification ID, top 5 mitigation, proper documentation, record keeping, understanding, complying with legal requirements, maintaining impartiality. This is the big one here. Avoiding conflicts of interest and ensuring impartiality during notarizations and upholding ethical standards, securing and handling documents. So now for a new notary, so let's just take our young lady. What was our new person? I think it was her from Denver. So let's just say this here. So please explain in, we'll just keep it simple, in 2 paragraphs, what does it mean for a notary to be impartial? All right, just keep it short and simple. For a notary to be impartial, it means they must act without bias, favoritism, or any conflicts of interest during the notarization process. This involves providing services solely based on facts presented and the legal requirements rather than personal relationships, financial interests, or external pressures. So now now you got to ask yourself, well, what are some external pressures? Okay, that a notary could face. Impartiality, an impartial notary ensures that their judgment is objective and that the notarization is conducted fairly, honestly, and ethically, which helps preserve public trust in the integrity of the notarization process. This is the part of the risk mitigation. How do I make myself to be impartial so that nobody can question that I did this ethically and that I did it with integrity? Maintaining impartiality also requires a notary to avoid any situation where their personal or professional interest could influence their actions. For example, a notary should not notarize a document if they have a financial or familial relationship with the signer that could compromise their neutrality. Additionally, they must refrain from providing legal advice or forcing a particular outcome, focusing solely on verifying identities and witnessing signatures, telling us this is what we're supposed to do. Focus solely on verifying identities and witness signatures. Upholding impartiality is essential to prevent accusations of misconduct and to ensure the notarization process remains unbiased, credible, and legally valid. So I know this might sound boring, okay, but this is what we have to do as business owners, okay? This is what we have to do as business owners. We have to make sure we're impartial. By being impartial, that reduces a lot of risk. That takes a lot of stuff out. Can it cause you to lose business? Yes, it can. But that's the price of doing business. So let's look at this here. So let's ask the question. So, what are some external pressures a notary public can face that may cause them not to be impartial? So it says external pressure that face might be compromising include requests or demands from family members, business associates to notarize documents in their favor. Signer might pressure notary to overlook discrepancies or to expedite the process due to personal relationships, creating conflict of interest. Similarly, employers or clients may attempt to influence a notary to notarize documents for financial gain, even if they have reservations about the legitimacy of the documents, meaning the people, not us having legitimacy, but the person who's asking you to. These pressures can tempt a notary to compromise their objectivity, risking the integrity of the notarization. Other external pressures include time constraints, urgent deadlines imposed by clients or legal entities, which may tempt a notary to cut corners or rush through the process without proper verification. Sometimes external influences like legal threats or coercion, such as intimidation or threats of harm, can also influence a notary decision making. Such pressures can challenge a notary's ability to remain neutral and impartial, highlighting the importance of strong ethical standards and the ability to resist undue influences and maintain the integrity of their duties. So, with all that being said, now you have to ask yourself, is the way I'm being trained by anybody causing me to put myself in a position to where I can't be impartial, where I'm going to be, things going to be risky? Is there anything that's being done? And thank y'all, like Frank said, hit the like button. Greatly appreciate it. Show some love to you, bro. Show some love to Uncle Griff. All right. What's going on, Corey? Corey was one of the people who did the one-on-one session with me. Had a great time. He's done a couple and all of that. So there you got that right. So that's the thing. And years ago, I learned that you got to reduce your risk. You got to be mindful of what you're doing. So we have rooms, clubhouse rooms, and other group get-togethers talking about, safety for notaries, how to make sure that the ladies are safe, how to make sure that the men are safe, how to make sure that you're not, getting robbed and this, that, and the other, your car getting jacked, all those kinds of things. But do you ever think about the information that you're being told to execute and live? You can tell I'm getting old. You start talking that little whistle sound. Old age kicking in. You know, do you consider that it's risky for you to follow certain information out here? Have you ever thought about that? That, hey, it could be a risk listening to this person. And especially when you get that gut feeling like, I don't know about this. At that point, now you're like, okay, I need to do, and you don't act on it. That's the problem. My man said, hey, you need to do more one-on-ones. No problem, man. I got you covered. But that's the thing. Okay. That's the thing. So why would somebody encourage you not to do your own research? Because see, there's a difference between, oh, read your state laws. It's another thing when you start researching. So when you start reading your state laws and you don't understand something that's in it, use ChatGTP, use DeepSeek AI, copy and paste the statute in there, and ask yourself, hey, what does this statute mean? So let's do that real quick. I'm gonna give you an example. This is one of my go-tos, and I have to go to it because this here, this is Code of Virginia. This is our site. So Tammy, this is one of the sites that we have to you go to. I'll just copy this and throw it in there for you. But if you it's a long link here, so sorry about that. Yep, okay, it'll fit on there. Oops, I did it twice. My bad. Let me delete that one. So this is Code of Virginia talking about things that we're prohibited from doing. So here's how I would do this here. So I would copy this here. And then I would just put it in here. So I would say, please explain the following statement from the Code of Virginia 47.1-15. Oh, I got to be on the pro. I don't have any free stuff, so I got to get on the pro version. All right, so bump that. Let me go over to my regular chat GTP. Uh-oh, shoot. Well, now I do it. So please explain the following from the Code of Virginia 47.1-15. So now, close that. So this is the research part. So you read your state law, but now you're in the research part of, what does this mean? And now you're gaining more knowledge and understanding as to, oh, okay, okay, now I get it. So then it said exception for professional expertise. This section does not preclude that if a notary has specialized training in another profession like real estate they can prepare advice This is what it's talking about. So, in summary, a notary cannot commit fraud. A non-attorney notary cannot act as a lawyer or give legal advice. Professionals like real estate, this, that, and the other can do it. A notary can attach an official notary wording when asked by the signer or authority, all of that kind of stuff. And then it asks, do you like to give me some real life examples of what would and wouldn't be allowed under this law? Yes. And see, what's happening now is that a lot of people are saying, well, you're not giving legal advice, you're just guiding them through. Well, even with the concept of you're guiding them through, you got to find out from your state how they view that phrase. Because if they look at anything coming out of your mouth as a notary, could potentially be UPL, unauthorized practice of law. It don't matter what the TMC said. If your state said, you can't do that, you can't do it. So how do you reduce risk? Let me find out from my state. If hopefully they'll be able to answer you. Now, one of the tools that you can use is Legal Shield. You can use Legal Shield to help you with that. Yeah. You go and get Legal Shield. So here's my friend Sharon. Here's her information. You can get Legal Shield and you can ask your attorney that you are paying for monthly with Legal Shield to help you understand the legal guidelines or the legal nuances concerning that phrase between giving legal advice and just guiding them through. Is there a thing? And then that way you can stand on business and know that, oh, okay, I'm not breaking the law. I'm not getting in trouble. It's okay for me to say this and not to say that. Because you remember, I'm just a random person on YouTube. And the rest of these people are random folk on YouTube. And I don't care how many millions and millions of dollars they brag about that they have. They don't know your state law. And they're not the expert on your state law. They're not even an expert on their own state law. And a lot of them aren't even out here doing the business. They just sitting there on a computer screen soaking in all of y'all admiration. But they're not really trying to help you. And and that's where the problem comes in at. So I'm out here trying to help and make sure that y'all understand. That's why I do the business and I talk to the signing companies and get their advice and things of that nature. And then I pass it on back to y'all. I share with y'all some of the difficulties that I can have or that I do have in doing the closings, whether it's with the signers, with the lender, with the title company, all of that. So you can be better prepared. Because it's one thing to have somebody providing you knowledge and all they're doing is just giving you classroom stuff, like the profession at the college or your business teacher in high school. It's another thing from somebody who is what out there doing it. That's why when you think about it, in most teaching environments, the teachers who never open up a business, what do? They go get a industry professional. Hey, we're going to get Mr. Johnson here. He's opened up 5 businesses and they make $5 million a piece. And Mr. Johnson comes in and then tells you the deal. And the problem is when Mr. Johnson comes in, he might tell you stuff that is completely opposite of what you've been learning for the last 6 months from your teacher. Because your teacher is only teaching you what's in the book that's 3 years old. They're not teaching you what's the right now in the business on a day-to-day basis. That's where the problem comes in at. So we don't have enough people out here actively doing the business and sharing their experiences that they're going through so you can understand how to address them, how to deal with them, how to avoid certain roadblocks. So that's why I give y'all the ups and downs of what I'm going through. So you can say, okay, well, man, Griff went through this. Okay. And then when you see the signs of it happening, it's like, oh, okay, I recognize this. But from the average TMC, you're not getting that because their experience is 4 years old or later. Their experience is only with direct clients, where the vast majority of notaries are working through signing companies. Their experience is only with general notary. They're not doing loan closings. Their experience is with loan closings. They're not doing general notary. So they're limited in what they can teach you concerning what you really need to know. So that means what? You're going to have to go out here and get the knowledge as well as do the research and dig deeper if you want to be great at what you do. If this is just about making you some quick money, then I don't expect you to implement any of what I'm saying, and you're going to keep paying all these people for their popcorn, microwave solutions to success, and hope you do have success. But for everybody else, it's some work. And as long as you're willing to do the work, your level of success will be there. So, like for me, um, just this week alone, and feel free to drop any questions in the chat. Any questions about anything, whether this topic or something else, it don't matter. So any questions you got about the notary business or whatsoever. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 28 closings this week, because I got 4 tomorrow. So that means between Monday or last Sunday, but I didn't do anything on Sunday. So between Monday and Friday of this week, did 24. And tomorrow I got 4, 9, 1, 2, and 5. So the business can work depending on where you live at, your commitment to it. And see, I'm sharing all of this because I want y'all to get to the point to where you can walk away from fear and stop being scared. Stop being worried that you're going to screw something up so bad that you're going to get put in jail. If you know what you're doing and have confidence in what you're doing and have at least some idea where you can get the answer from, then why can't you be more confident? If you don't know the answers to the test, you're going to have anxiety. And I'm trying to help you to learn how to get the answers to the test. That's why I did a video. I forgot I was ripping and running. I didn't get a chance to pull it up, but I did a video talking about how to use AI to help you summarize the documents. You ain't got to pay anybody to learn how to do that. So just as an example, give me a document that y'all want summarized, that y'all have you don't understand. Anybody in there, give me a document that you have concerns about. He's like, I don't understand this document. And you're trying, and now again, you don't have to explain the document or summarize it to the customer by law in most states. But let's just say if your state said it's legally allowed for you to do. So the question now is, what document are you struggling with being able to just you understand it, or how to explain it to them? Is there a document that you have faced? Even if you're pretty good at this, that you struggled in the past, but now you got it. Just give me a document that you have struggled with, currently struggling with, just trying to get a base understanding of what this document means. Any document you got. Come on, party people. Somebody can think of one. Also, I might have to do a separate video about that. I don't know. So that means everybody knows every single document out there. So let's try this here. In a mortgage refinance, there is sometimes a document called the line of credit closeout. Can you write a summary for me to use to explain it to the signer. Oops, my bad. There it is. Okay, so here's a clear, signer friendly explanation you can use when presenting the line of credit closeout document in a mortgage refinance. The line of credit closeout form is used when you have an existing home line of credit, HELOC, or similar credit account tied to your property. By signing this document, you are asking the lender to close the line of credit so it cannot be used anymore. This is often required in a refinance because a new lender wants to make sure there are no other loans can be drawn against your home after the refinance is complete. It doesn't mean you owe extra money, simply closes out the ability to borrow more from the old line of credit. Now, why do you need to spend $500? Why do you need to spend 3, 4 hours a week sitting in Zooms, listening to people, hoping that somebody will answer this question when you can hop on here and figure it out yourself? Now, if you just want to be in somebody's Zoom just because you want interaction with other human beings, okay, get it. I get it. But you don't really have to do that if you're trying to get an answer. And here's your answer right here. What's going on, Akita? Good to see you, lady. So let's look at here. So Tammy says, explain the owner's affidavit. Okay. Okay. Write a, how did I put it before? That's a good one. Write a summary for me to use to assist a signer to understand what the owner's affidavit means and its purpose. Now, if you notice how I'm framing it, write a summary for me to use to assist a signer to understand this. So that way, it's not just saying, it's writing it in such a way that a layperson can understand it. So it says the owner affidavit is a sworn statement from you, the property owner, that confirms certain facts about your property. By signing it, you are declaring that you are the legal owner of the property. There are no undisclosed claims, legal liens, legal issues, that no one else has rights to the property. You haven't made any agreements that would affect the title. The purpose of this affidavit is to give the title company and lender a reassurance that the property title is clear and accurate so they can issue the title and move forward with the loan or sale. Okay, so that's what that means. All right. So let's try another one. What the affidavit uh continue us marriage is and its purpose. It's one statement by you. Been continuously married to each other since your wedding date. This document is often used in real estate and refinance when one spouse rights in a property need to be verified. Its purpose is to show the lender and title company that your marriage has been ongoing without interruption. Your spouse's interests in the property are accounted for. The title company can properly issue the property knowing both spouses' rights are clear. How Think about how much money you could have saved. You see what I'm saying? Okay, that's a good one there. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I'm gonna use that's a good question there, my man. That is a really, 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 really okay. All right, that is a really good question. All right, let me pull this bad boy up. Let me go to my channel because I think I need to. That is a really good question. I got to go over here. All right. So let me come back to y'all. All right. So all right. The certification is a statement you make to the IRS through the title company that the property is being sold is your primary residence. That the purpose of this form is to confirm the property is your main home, not an investment or vacation property. You meet the IRS requirements for the capital gains exclusion. Because of this, no IRS reporting form will be issued. So, I mean, look at how easy that is. Now, there are some TMCs out there that will say, "Oh, you can't trust AI." To some degree, that is true, depending on what you're asking AI. But these questions are long established, and AI has access to this information. It's not like it's new stuff that AI hasn't, that hasn't been loaded up or they don't haven't had access to. So it's easy for you to get to the point of, oh wow, I can save myself a buttload of money instead of sitting in a daggone Zoom all day, hoping that somebody will give me a chance to answer my question. Or when I ask the question, they don't cut me off before I really ask it. Because some people, and this is the thing, and this is just how we are as humans. Yeah, there was a situation that, and the person who's running the Zoom, they want you to hurry up and ask the question. They just want you to just. The question is, hey, what's the purpose of this step? What's da 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 da? And that's not how we are as human beings. We like to give the backstory. So that's what I'm saying. So you can't get the backstory here. Hey, Chat GTP, back on last Tuesday, I had this. I mean, if you want to, you can. You can. But you can do that here without feeling some kind of way, as the young ones will say, and get an answer. And then you can say, okay, well, let me try a different AI tool. Let me see what this other AI tool says, and maybe just to compare. It's that simple. That's all you're doing. And you don't need to spend now. If you want to spend time and money with them just for socialization, fine, do so. But you can actually get a lot of the information you want. Like one of the questions I was sharing with somebody the other day, we was talking, it was for one-on-one, and asked him, say, okay, as a new notary, this is what I would do, say, what is the purpose of a notary public? Okay. Then you can ask, are there any special cons- considerations that I need to be aware of in my state of Virginia? And then boom. And here's the one that I was talking about earlier. You see what I'm saying? So simply, this is how. So when somebody says, "Oh well, the AI is wrong," what's wrong with what they're saying here? Where is it wrong at? Now, in the chat, type a seven. Let me come back to y'all real quick. Type a seven if you feel that this has just helped you out. Just period. Is what you just learned for is how to reduce risk. See, to reduce risk, you're still at risk. Type a seven in the chat if you feel that this has helped you out. What you just heard seen me do for the last 15 minutes has helped you out, giving you a little bit deeper insight on how you can protect yourself. So reading a book gives you the knowledge that, oh, okay, there's some things that I can and can't do as a notary, but it doesn't really help you to understand fully how to mitigate the risk because you don't understand what some of this stuff means. When you understand what it means, then, oh my goodness, when you understand what it means, now you have something to talk back on. You need to put a zero up there, man. Stop that mess. And the seven ain't nowhere near zero on your keyboard. So that's the thing. He always teases. That's the thing. When you have knowledge and understanding, what's up, Tracy? When you have knowledge and understanding, and you know what things mean, and you know what they is and what it is not, now nobody can do the okey doke. Somebody come up there, hey, let me tell you this, let me teach you this, like I did in another thing. What are some um what are some concerns that mobile notaries need to be aware of in marketing their business? So that's a question. Okay, so let's ask that. And then let's get more specific. So, what are some concerns for a mobile notary? What are some advertising concerns? Let's put that way. What are some advertising concerns for a mobile notary looking to get more business? Misleading fees. Now this is old. This hasn't been updated because this just happened last year. Where was it, like, yeah, last year or was it this year? Where they might have been this year. I can't remember. Upped it from $5 to $10. So now with that base information, not saying that this is the end all be all, but with just that base information of what you should and shouldn't do in advertising your business, now when somebody comes to you and they start teaching you stuff, and again, I'm not saying you can't take the course and try to learn from them, but now you can say, okay, what percent of the information they put out actually, yeah, that's what y'all should be doing. I'm hoping that's what they're doing. This is how you get a better understanding. This is how you reduce risk. Now, you say, well, what's so important about this? It keeps it. You have your account. Look, down here, right here. That's my one of my Google accounts. One of my login accounts there for Chat GTP. Well, guess what? Let's just say for some reason somebody claims that you did something and you know that, hey, no, I couldn't have done that because I know better. And they want to blame me. How you know? I said, look, I did the research. Where? You can go dig up Chat GTP, and it shows that on such and such date at such and such time, you inquired about the legitimacy of dot dot dot. You can do that. You can do that. And now you're covered. It's another word, it's another way to what? Cover your hind parts. But a lot of people don't look at it that way. And I'm trying to see if I can find something for y'all as an example. Um, that I had to do for a guy. And I wish I could remember where I put that daggone thing at. Because somebody had asked me about notarizing passports and stuff, and I had to go do some serious research to get to get that squared away and to show them that no, I can't do that. But and I was up to like maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing it, doing the research and everything, and it came out good. It came out good. Uh, Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. So this is what I did using DeepSeek AI. So this is what I presented. This here is 8 pages. Now we not, I mean, just skipped it, but this so y'all can see the questions that I was asking. So I just asked it in general. Are notaries allowed to notarize U.S. passport? It says no. Notary publics in the U.S. are not authorized to notarize U.S. passports. And then it says why. Okay. Then I said, how does a Virginia notary perform a copy certification notarization? Gives me the answer because I had never done one. Gives me an example of all of that. Important restrictions. No copy certificate copy. No certified copies of public records. A Virginia notary cannot certify copies of a birth certificate, this, that, and the other. Okay. Then I said, in Virginia, our passports and driver's license apostille. And it says in Virginia, this, that, and the other generally cannot be apostille directly because they are federal and state issued identity documents, not public records that qualify for apostille certification. Then I said, where in the Code of Virginia does it state notaries cannot copy certify U.S. passports and driver's license? And then it says there is no explicit statute that directly states notaries cannot do this, that, or the other. However, prohibitions is derived from legal principles, notarial best practices, and restrictions in Virginia law. And then it breaks it down. I guess we are going to go through this, but not read all. Yeah. Why did you stop there? Because I know that ain't 8 pages. Oh, that is 8. Yeah. So this is what I did, and I submitted this to the person who was asking me and telling me that they can do it. And they came back and said, well, in Alabama, they can. And I said, well, I'm not in Alabama. So I gave them that and I said, now please take the time out. That's why I got the stuff in bold. And they read through it and they came back and said, hey, thank you very much. Yeah, we're going to have to go and get a different notary to do this. I said, no problem. So now there's historical proof that I've done the research. Now, how accurate is this? I don't know. But it at least gives you something to work with, to think about. You see what I'm saying? And if you ask the questions the right way, you'll get more specific answers. But if you're unwilling to ask the questions the right way, you just generally say, can I do a copy certification? Be more specific. Can a notary in the state of Michigan do a copy certification of a particular document and name that document? So now you're getting more specific. See, people will sit there and generalize stuff by saying, oh, you're just guiding them to generalize it because they're so desperate for notaries to run their mouth about the documents as if that's our main purpose. That's what I don't get. They act like that's our main purpose to say something, even to the point of about, well, you can't tell an escrow officer or a title company that or a lender that you're not going to explain the documents or summarize them or read the title. Yes, I can if my state law tells me I can't. Because remember, those individuals, those business entities are doing business in the state of Virginia or your whatever state you're in at the behest of that state. They don't run the state runs them. And if they don't follow state guidelines, they won't be allowed to do business in that state. So they can sit here and say, well, we want to demand that the notary does. But the notary is under obligation to do things the way the state said. And if you can't respect what the state has said for a notary to do and not to do, then maybe you need to go find some other place to do business. And why is it so important that a notary gallops into that arena of doing that stuff? Because it does not solidify the transaction. It does not guarantee that the transaction will be validated. It does not do anything except show that you've done some studying. And that's it. It may make you a little might make you look a little cool, cool. Yeah, when you ask ChatGPT, you ask to list the sources as well. You can, because that's why I asked. Remember, I said, can you show me in the state statute? You can ask it whatever you want. You can ask it, hey, list the sources where you get this information from. You can. I have not, but you can. You can do that. So you sit there and ask it, what was the sources of your information? So let's say, okay, please put you back up here. Please cite your informational sources for the previous answer you provided. So here you go, Handbook of Notaries, Code of Virginia, National Notary Association, Notary Handbook, National Notary, Notary of America. So you can tell it to cite. So now we see boom, boom, boom. It's doable. Just got to do it. That's all. You just got to do it. Down here says the sources. Here's the sources. You just got to do it. So my thing is, if you have this tool at your disposal, why do you need even me? Now, the difference between Griff and that is that it doesn't have experience doing notarizations. I do. So you use that in conjunction with your TMC and say, okay, well, this is what I learned. Can you expound on? Can you help me understand that? Have you? There's nothing wrong with that. That's how, to me, that's how it should work. All right. Let me get out of here, y'all, because I gotta start printing for tomorrow. It's 11:59 or 10:59. And kick it with the wife for a little bit before I start printing. I got four tomorrow. Get those printed. Oh, and by the way, The 7 closings that I did today, I didn't even prep any of them. I just went out and did them. I didn't prep anything. I just was like, let me just go do it. And I'm just gonna go. And I was tired anyway. The lowest number of pages I had today was 11, and the highest number was the 206. I just went rolling, and everything worked out fine, much better than I actually thought. So I'm stoked, And then I actually met a classmate of mine from high school. I was at the FedEx dropping documents off, and I came outside, and she's like, "Hey, you Stephen Griffin?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "This is Geraldine, high school, class 85." I was like, as soon as she took her shades off, I was like, "Yep, I remember her." So that was good to see her. That was good to see her. She was a top quality person through and through. So it was really cool to see her. So that was one of the things that made my day. But what also made my day was that hearing various notaries out here doing this business and enjoying it. Apprentice, Camille, Corey, Tracy, they're out here doing this business and they're learning and they're getting it done. And I'm very, very proud of each and every one of them. I really, really am. My goal is not to have you locked down. That's why I sort of backed off of doing so many videos because I want y'all to spend more time out there looking at some of my older videos, but spend more time out there doing the business. And then hit me up, hey Griff, let's talk. Because I've been out here and I'm seeing some things. Okay, let's talk. Then I do my videos to help y'all. I'm very, very proud of each and every one of you. Even those of you who haven't gotten out there and started yet, I'm proud of you because I know you are. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you get to where you need to be. I just need you to be more proactive in vetting the information that you're gathering and collecting from these other people. Question them, ask them, verify from them the stuff that they're saying, and then evaluate whether or not that's something that can be implemented where you're at. If it can, okay, cool. Because the number one thing that I don't want anybody to do is to lose who you are just to make some money. Don't give up who you are. I'm not saying don't learn to be a better business person, but sometimes if you have a more caring, compassionate, or just not a you have a very non-money grubbing personality, some of the stuff these folk will tell you to do will cause you to change who you are, your character. And they don't have to go home with you at night. Your spouse sees you like, oh, what's wrong with you? No, anything good? No, something different about you. Your kids, daggone dog don't even want to come around you. That's a sign that maybe you're changing a little too much and you might need to slow down. That's all I got for y'all tonight. Y'all have a good weekend. I greatly appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for all that you do and everything. So hit the like button, all that good stuff. Greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Peace.